alone, staring at the full moon like a lover.
10:26 on this first day of May in the heart of the Riverbend in downtown Alton. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show. On the line now is Eddie Sholar. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing okay. You know, over the weekend, Sunday morning, we all got the news of the passing of just a legend in Mike Shannon. And one of the things, I think of right away is, just thinking about, Mike Shannon and Alton as the, of course, your guys' iconic commercials. How are you feeling over the passing of Mr. Shannon?
It's been a hard couple of days, man. We got very close over the years, and it's definitely, it wasn't a shock. He wasn't doing great, but at the same time it was unexpected. So it's been a hard couple of days.
And I couldn't even imagine. And I got to ask you right off the bat, how did those, commercials, with you and Mr. Shannon come about?
Well, back in the late 90s, I was doing some advertising with the Cardinals, and they had an option of kind of a one-time deal where you could have an endorsement by somebody, and I actually picked Mr. Shannon over Jack Buck and over a couple other people because he was so much a good fit for the bar and just a fun-loving guy, and we were selling fun and having fun. So we did some spots through the radio station that kind of became friends, if you will, and then did some more commercials, and then became really good friends to where we built a great relationship and he became one of my best friends. It became almost a non-scripted thing, just conversations for commercials, just to have some fun, and one thing led from another to marketing to friendship. So here we are.
Well, and I'm sure, you have so many stories, to tell, and you have with Mr. Shannon. And I'll ask you, maybe at the end here for one or two, but you just hit it right on the head with, just how you guys flowed so well. And on those commercials, it seemed like you guys had so much fun doing them that it made it so much more. It's almost like I wanted to listen to the commercial,
Well, he by all stretches and by all imagination is a very entertaining person. Clearly that's why he was behind the mic for 50 years. So he's entertaining to sit with at dinner, to sit with him. And so you put a mic in front of him, and I can play along pretty well with anybody. And if nothing else, be the punching bag. So we just had a lot of fun and just let it flow out and sell the product. You still had a goal of telling people about Fast Eddie's, but at the same time, you got two goofy guys doing it. It's kind of a fun thing to listen to it, and we didn't even look at them as commercials so much as conversation and edit it down to a commercial. So the natural thing of it, would come over. But that's how we would talk, sitting at the horse track or fishing too, so it was just a relationship that turned out for some really silly commercials.
That's for sure. And if you don't mind me asking, do you have and I don't want to, have you take out the Rolodex, but is there a story that comes to mind just, maybe as your guys' friendship was starting or, maybe throughout it where you go, that's how I'm remembering Mike Shannon?
Well, the ways that I would, there's a whole lot I can't tell. I can tell you that. But the side of him and the goofy and the silly and the character because he knew baseball really well, but he could put a silly twist to it. Mm-hmm. But his generosity to charity and I got blessed when the Cardinals would be kind of maxed out on their visits. Folks would call me or email me, is there any way you can get whether it be a special needs child or a sick child or an old timer, that is there any way you can get me hooked up with him? And I would ask Mr. Shannon, several times I took people to him that were, that wouldn't have been able to get to him without me. So it made me feel good. So this was the stories I like to remember, the stories of the best stories of him. the ones that are all clean are all the ones of how kind and how great he was at giving back.
You know, from just the outsider's perspective, a one of a kind individual. You know that there'll never be another Mike Shannon, as far as I'm concerned.
No, there won't be.
And you know, before I really appreciate you calling in. I wanted to ask you, you know, when you're starting these and you get to pick Shannon, I'm sure you watched him play, and I'm sure you listened to him on the horn. Was it nerve-wracking that first time you meet him?
Yeah, I was even the first couple times I had met him just as a fan like everybody else. You know, so when I show up to do the first commercials, I remember, you know, up all night worrying about it, you know, and he's such a professional, and they were definitely more scripted in the beginning, you know, to try to sell things, but. And in the beginning, yes, it was very, and I was pretty young too, you know, so I was wanted to do a good job for my business. You know, I was wanting to not embarrass myself in front of 500,000 people on KMOX, you know, but then after just a few recording sessions, we hit it off so well to where it quickly became easy. But yes, the beginning, I felt like I was auditioning because he was Mike Shannon. He was, you know, and he just boomed a room, you know, when he was loud, not obnoxiously, but it was like he had that voice, that iconic voice, and he was a large man, and everybody. So yeah, here I come walking in with these scripts, telling him what he has to say, and he pretty much says what he wants to say anyway. So it got easy real fast. Wow.
And Eddie, I really appreciate you calling in, sir, and really giving us some insights. And like I said, whenever I think of, Mike Shannon, I really do think of those commercials, and I
appreciate it.
And my thoughts are with you on the passing of your friend. And I'm sure, you know, the world's still a little bit more cold today.
Yeah, he would always tease me and say, you know, I won 3 World Series. I've been a part of 9 World Series. I've been 62 years with the Cardinals. And everywhere I go, I'm famous for selling beer and burgers in Alton, Illinois. so I don't know if that's all the way true, but it was fun to hear for the folks of Alton, Illinois. You know what I mean? Like all the shit I've done, and everybody yells kebabs and beer.
That's a great point. You know what's funny too is I had some before I let you go, when I was still playing soccer, we had some folks from Australia coming in to play with the team, and the first thing they said is, they go, Fast Eddie's is here, isn't it? And I go, well, yeah, it's right. It's right down the road. They go, well, I heard about this guy Eddie and this guy Mike Shannon where I was in the Uber, and I gotta go.
It just sounds like a good time listening to 2 clowns laugh about it, you know.
Absolutely.
So it turned out great, man. I'm gonna miss him dearly. He's like a second father to me. So we'll do it this week, do the memories and all that, and honor him best I can.
Absolutely. And really appreciate your insights today, and really appreciate the fact that you and Mike Shannon were helping me realize that if I was 21 and in the mood, there was only one place to go.
And I'm going to say that forever. If you're 21 and in the mood. If you're 21 and in the mood, what a great line. Huh?
I'm telling you what. Hey, thank you so much for your insights today.
All right, man. Take care, CJ.
You too. 10:34 on this first day of May. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with our daily show after this.